Hi, it's me again, Jed. I've been persuaded to do another video for you. I'm not sure why, but hey, feathers and webs, we got it right this time. And I'm going to do you a little tutorial really on how to make a miniature besom, which is a witch's broom, which will be included in this month's witch box. But we will also hopefully have a few available for sale, and then maybe again towards Halloween. I'll see you inside. So just a quick introduction to what's actually in the kit. At the top there's a hazel handle that's foraged from our garden, deliberately a bit gnarly. We want this to look rustic. And then underneath that there's a bundle of broom held together with two elastic bands. That broom again was foraged locally. It's got lots of leaves, which will make a mess unfortunately. I've literally only dried this out over the last couple of days in the lovely heat that we've had. Then there's a length of string which is something like 1.5 meters, maybe a little bit longer. Some ribbon with some matching beads, and then at the bottom in the center there's another short piece of string which has a charm on the end which we thought was appropriate. It's a little witch flying on a broom. More about witches flying on brooms later. And then right in the center there is Jed's patented bead threader, which is actually just a piece of folded wire, but you'll see that it's very useful. Okay, so now on to the making of a broom, a besom. The first part of the process is obviously going to be to join the broom to the handle. I'm just going to trim a few little bits off here. You can make it as neat and tidy as you want. I quite like mine to look as rustic as possible. The two elastic bands holding everything together there, please leave them there for now. So the thin end of the handle we just push into there, keep turning it around, make sure that it looks fairly central, although that's not critical because it can be adjusted once we start binding it to the handle. Just found some seeds there, look. That'll come in handy for next year. So take our string, quite a length, maybe 1.5 meters worth, but it needs that. We need to bind this quite tight because we're not using any glue or anything to hold it in position. I like to just tie half a knot at the back, pull it tight, roll it over, and then tie a double knot, simple double knot. There again, pulling it as tight as we can without breaking the thread. From now, the next section is really quite simple. We just wrap and wrap and wrap. I tend to move fairly quickly along the broom, and then as we go on, I'll make it look tidier. But the important thing is in the beginning to make sure that doesn't slide off like that. So just check around, make sure we've got good coverage all around that handle with the broom. And away we go, nice and tight. Hold it tight every time. Just fold that over there. This is to help keep it all neat and tidy later on without having to tie loose ends and little bits sticking out all over the place. You can already see on the bench there lots of bits and pieces have fallen off, the little bits of leaves and loose odds and ends from the broom. I've literally dried this out over the last few days, so by the time those of you who are getting the witch box receive it, it'll be less than a week. Oh, don't need that, throw it away. It'll be less than a week since it was foraged. But it's been drying in this beautiful sunshine that we've had. Round and round and round we go. And then as we get to the end, you'll see it starts to look a lot neater, a lot tidier. I could be really, really picky and try and line everything up, but it's meant to be, it's meant to represent a rustic broom. You'll have noticed there that I pulled the string through right at the end, just through the broom to hold it into position. There's one last little thing here with the bed and the threader. I'm just going to try to push that through there. It's quite soft wire and I've wound that really tight, so it's not going to be too easy, but it is possible. There we go. Trim that a little bit, I think. Yeah, a little bit shorter. And then the idea is with the loop on the threader. Oh, I've knocked my beads everywhere, look how clever of me. I'm just going to put that little bit of string through the eye, pull it through like that. There you go, nice and neat. No need for any further knots. And just check that it's nice and tight. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's only an ornament after all. Now we don't need these elastic bands anymore. You can either try and pull them off if you want to reuse them, or just snip them like that. I don't know where they go. So there we go. Stage one. Next thing to do is try and just make this whole thing a little bit prettier, so I'll get rid of all of that. I feel like a Blue Peter presenter here. It's ridiculous, not on my edge. So next we look to string the beads. This is where the patented string beader really comes in, bead stringer really comes into its own. So there we have the string with the charm on the end, a little witch on a broom, and quite simple. Open up the string, the bead threader, add that to it like that, and away we go. Some little silver beads in there. None of these beads are very valuable, they're either plastic or glass, but they look nice when they're on there. So a nice blingy bead, another metallic one, and so on. Nice and easy. Not trying to thread string through that starting to fray at the end or anything like that. It's like using a needle really. And then once they're all on, just hold the beads. Come on, hold the beads. Yeah, look, isn't that nice? And then thread this through just the bottom edge, the bottom couple of strands, if that. Again, a bit fiddly because I've wrapped that really tight. Okay, so there, just hold it, hold the beads, pull it through. And then we can tie that, keep it in place, adjust it to the length you think you want it. And just a simple double knot. Once that's stood up right, that'll hang nicely there, nice and shiny, because we like shiny things. Trim a little bit off there. You can tidy it up. There's bits and pieces sticking out all over there. I tend to leave quite a bit of them myself because, as I say, it's meant to represent a rustic, ancient broom. Now for me, I'm just going to dab a little bit of super glue on that knot to make sure it can't unravel at a future point. Just a dot, just a tiny little dot of glue. Now the last bit on this one, the demonstration, is I'm just going to add a nice bit of blue ribbon which kind of matches the beads a little bit. For the kits, we will always try to, the ribbons will be different colours, the beads will be hopefully a similar colour so that you've got a little bit of coordination there. There we go. My bows aren't particularly spectacular. I'm sure that most of you can tie a much neater, nicer bow than that. Maybe Mandy will sort this out for me a bit better later. You can keep fiddling with it and it won't make any difference. But no, that doesn't work. Put it back. Put it back. Okay. There we go. Close enough. I used to know how to tie a bow tie, and if I could remember, I would have tied it using a bow tie knot because they're very symmetrical and very neat. But that's the good old days when I used to wear evening suits occasionally. And yeah, that's it really. I'll show a little picture at the end, a photograph I'll take, showing how it would look stood up on an altar table or whatever. You could also hang it. I think Mandy said she's going to hang this one from the wall somewhere just as a little decoration. So there we go. Interestingly, we all with the legend about flying on broomsticks. There was sorry, you can trim this to size. That's what I'm trying to demonstrate there. If you don't like that length, just trim it down. So, witches flying on brooms. Apparently, what actually happened, they were flying, but not in a sense that anybody would imagine. These were used in quite a lot of rituals, and witches would dance with them, sometimes in quite erotic ways. I'll leave that to your imagination. Imagine them flying it. But before they used to fly the broom, they would rub various potions on there, some of which were, shall we say, psychedelic, and the flying that they were doing was entirely in their heads. Well, there you go. I don't know if that's true, but somebody told me that once. Anyway, there we go. Look at this. This is just a little advert. I don't know if you noticed the difference in how clean my hands were, and particularly my fingernails, between this video and the last one I did. I spent a lot of time getting really dirty in the garden. So this is our gardener soap that Mandy formulated herself using entirely natural products. It's got orange peel in there, it's got coffee grounds, and it's got cocoa powder, as well as beautiful hand-made, hand-mixed soap, cooked here on the premises. It's available on the website.